The animal welfare concerns associated with the farming of sheep and goats include lameness and painful feet conditions, mastitis, so inflammation of the udders, painful husbandry procedures such as castration, tail docking and mulesing. Sheep and goats are used across the developing world by subsistence farmers who depend upon them for meat, for milk, for hides. Now, animals raised in these developing world environments can experience a range of suboptimal conditions relating to things like nutrition, to healthcare, vaccinations, control of parasites, housing conditions which may be substandard, and reproductive management as well. These welfare problems affect not only the animals but the people that depend on the productivity of these animals. And it's important to provide solutions to people which are affordable, which can be practically implemented in developing world environments. Lameness is one of the most serious animal welfare problems experienced by sheep. Recent figures indicate that at any one time around about 3 million sheep are lame within the United Kingdom. The most common cause of lameness is interdigital dermatitis, which is inflammation of the hooves of the sheep. This accounts for around about 90% of cases of lameness in sheep. Treatment of lameness involves firstly identifying the affected animals, which requires adequate inspection of flocks, which unfortunately doesn't always occur. Once the animals are identified, then it involves treatment with antibiotics. It can include treating the sheep with non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs. It's thought that the feces will soil the region of the tail and the hindquarters, and this attracts blowfly maggots which burrow into the skin of the sheep and cause them to become fly-blown. So this is a very uncomfortable condition. It makes the sheep acutely ill, and actually it can cause the death of these sheep. So to try to prevent fly strike, lambs are normally tail docked at a young age, and several techniques may be used. A very tight constricting rubber ring can be applied directly to the tail, and this is a very tight ring that constricts the blood vessels, causing the tail after that point to effectively die. Sometimes the tails are removed by cutting them off and simply applying a hot iron to the cut surface, and sometimes a crushing device is applied to the tail for around about 10 seconds to try to crush the blood vessels leading down the tail, followed by which a rubber ring may be applied to the tail as well. All of the techniques used for tail docking cause pain, both in the immediate short term, that is acute pain, and also they cause ongoing, i.e. chronic pain. Unfortunately, because of economic reasons, so costs, and the increased time that it would take, painkillers are often not provided. Alternatives to tail docking include crutching, which is using shears to remove the wool in the region of the hindquarters and the tail base. Jetting, which is applying an insecticide along the back of the sheep. Dipping, so actually fully immersing the sheep in an insecticide bath. And also genetics, breeding for sheep that are more resistant to fly strike. One particularly notorious method for dealing with fly strike is the procedure of mulesing, to actually cut away strips of skin on the bottom of the sheep with the intention that the skin that then grows back forms a hairless scar, which is more likely to stay clean. Because of the acute pain that it causes, mulesing is extremely controversial and has resulted in international campaigns to boycott Australian wool, because Australia is the main country where this occurs. In 2011, the European Union created the Animal Welfare Indicators project to develop a simple set of welfare assessment criteria for sheep and goats, and also for donkeys, horses and a range of other animals too. For sheep and goats, it's possible to assess the welfare on farm by looking at a number of key aspects. One aspect relates to nutrition. It's possible to assess the nutritional status of animals by looking at their body condition and also to check their water supplies. The next criteria is housing. We need to make sure that the animals are provided with clean housing conditions and don't suffer from extremes of weather. So we're looking at the provision of things like shade, provision of shelter from cold weather extremes. We're looking to see that the coat condition of the animals is not soiled by having to lie in unclean conditions. The next key indicator is health, so we're looking to see that the animals are not showing signs of disease. We want to see that there are no obvious injuries externally, and we also want to see that painkillers are being used when painful husbandry procedures are being performed. Finally, we're looking to see that the animals are exhibiting normal behavioural patterns. We would be looking for animals that appear to be withdrawn from the flock, animals that appear to be unusually fearful of humans. Through attention to welfare indicators such as these, farmers and producers can identify animals that are experiencing welfare problems and seek to correct these.